Fish Baby Daddy here. Got a new plant, pretty rare plant, and I want to show you how we're going to actually pull any potential pest of snails or anything that might be hitchhikers that are on that plant. And we're going to get rid of those, and we're going to actually show you how to do that safely and expose, making sure that it's 100% clean when you put it into your new tank. Let's get started. So here's a picture of the plant I got in a bag. Got it from a friend of mine, and it's a type of Anubias. It's rare, and we'll get into that later. But you can see there doesn't really look like there's anything on the plant. It looks really healthy. It's got good root structure. But just play on the safe side. What are we going to do to actually clean that up, to get rid of anything that might be on there so you don't see anything exposed later on in the tank? What I like to use right here, no planaria. And so it says here's control in 72 hours. I'm going to show you how we can do this overnight. And I'm going to actually what we call nuking it. I'm going to actually try to get some of this planaria, this no planaria, and we're going to actually remove anything that's on the plant. Okay, so if you look at directions, all this no planaria is a very high-powered medication in a powder form. And it will say you're going to use 1 spoonful per 50 liters. Now, we are not going to use 50 liters of water, but we're going to use 1 spoonful. So when I say nuke it, what I mean by that is this. I'm going to actually fill this Ziploc bag up with water, and I'm going to put 1 spoonful of the no planaria in this bag. And I'm going to put that, and then I'm going to put the plant in there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it in this bucket with no light. I'm going to turn off all the lights, and I'm going to put this towel and drape it over it. Now, this might be what we call overkill, but what I want to do is I want to get this experience, so I'm actually getting this plant detoxified 100% from any potential hitchhikers. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to rinse it off in the morning, so I'm going to let this sit overnight in there with no light. And so what happens is that all this light that you're seeing right now can actually nullify the effects of no planaria. So we want to actually make it completely dark, so we do this at night. So to be 100% effective, what we want to do is we want to actually take 1 scoop, put it in the Ziploc bag, put the plant in there, fill it up with water, and then we want to actually get it in the actual bucket, cover it with a towel, do that overnight, and then what's going to happen in the morning is that I'm going to drain actually all the no planaria and all that stuff off the plant, because for too long it could actually expose and hurt the plant. But we want to kind of nuke it in a way where we have 1 scoop. We're just putting it in a Ziploc bag with some water, and that'll get rid of anything that's on the plant, and then I'll have it ready for the actual tank itself. So I'm not going to be able to show you a lot of this after this little clip here, because we don't want the light actually exposing the medication. So that's why I'm actually kind of reviewing it right now. What I'll do is I'll do everything, and then in the morning I'll actually show you how we actually pull it out, how it looks, and then we'll put it all together. Okay, so there's the bucket, threw a towel over it. I actually put 2 scoops, probably a little too much, in that Ziploc bag with that plant. I'm gonna let it run for about 6.5, 7 hours. And then I'm gonna actually turn off this light, and we'll check back in the morning. Okay, so we did it overnight. I got the towel here over the bucket. Pull away. We haven't seen any water leak or anything, so that's a good sign, so that we know that the medication or the powder or whatever you want to call it with no planaria has actually gotten to the plant. We can see it's actually cloudy a little bit. We know that it is actually completely covered. And now what I can do is I can rinse this off really good and put it back in the bucket until I get back home from work. And then we can get everything ready for the actual tank with the plant. Okay, so what I did was I just took it out of the bag, rinsed it off really good, rinsed out this bucket, and then filled it up with a little bit of water, keeping the plant just nice and wet. So when I get home, then I can actually kind of put it together however I want. Just making sure I wash my hands and everything's nice and thoroughly rinsed. This no planaria is really powerful in the fact that it will actually get rid of all bacteria, snails, and any other kind of pests that might be on a plant. The reason I rinse it so good too is that it can actually get rid of your good beneficial bacteria in your tank as well, and we don't want to do that. And so that's why I'm always rinsing everything off really thoroughly, and the health of the plant too. So I just nuke it really good overnight, and then we put it in the tank, we put it in the bucket, let it rinse a little bit. When I come home, I'll probably rinse it again so it's nice and thoroughly clean, and then we should be good to go. Okay, so I rinsed off the plant really good again, took it out of the bucket, and now it should be ready to go. We can actually put this in whatever you want. I'm gonna attach this to a rock and try to get this to grow with that rhizome and see how it goes. So just kind of put it in perspective here. There's no planaria. It says 1 scoop. You should put it in, see if I can pull it out a little bit. It says 1 scoop, 1 spoonful is 50 liters. So 50 liters is roughly about 13 gallons. So I did 2 scoops of this overnight in just a Ziploc bag. So just to put that in perspective, that is a lot of chemicals to kind of nuke this and really get anything off of it potentially. You can see the plant looks relatively healthy still. I didn't put it in for too long, just kept it in overnight, and got away from any lights so that the actual medication would work, because this no planaria is photosensitive. We want to actually make sure it works 100% and it's effective. Just put in that Ziploc bag, kept it in the dark, and we're good to go. Okay, so I hope that was helpful for you to kind of figure out, how do I get rid of pests? How do I get rid of potential snails? How can I get rid of planaria? How can I get rid of like green hair algae or any kind of bacteria that might be on my plants? And I want to make sure that I don't make anything that goes into my tank now invasive and a huge problem. So it takes a couple steps, but it's definitely worth the effort. Because you don't want any surprises. Then you have to medicate an entire tank or treat an entire tank or have it affect your fish or your other plants. So hopefully you got something out of this, and I think it'll be real helpful for a lot of people. Keep it simple, simplify it, take those extra steps, and you won't have to worry about any problems. Okay, thanks for watching. Until next time, Fish Baby Daddy.